With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. Tonight we finish off Week 6 with a good Monday nighter, as it'll be the Washington Commanders taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And they will elect to not bring this one out, as our first drive will begin at the 25. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
To throw on second down, Daniels. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
Three and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. Back to throw. Daniels. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football, but at the same time you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. First carry here for Ken Walker. And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. 18 more yards there and another first down. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Back to Walker on first down. A tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Hurts sets up to throw it. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Jeremy Chin picks it off. And the Commanders are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line.
The Commanders take over 1st and 10 at their own 3-yard line.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. They take over here following the interception. That's the good news. The tough spot is the spot that they're in. That's inside the 5 in the shadow of their own goalpost here. 1st and 10.
Now
he's able to break through one tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coach was always saying, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
To throw from his end zone, Daniels. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
Give him the completion. No gain, but let's focus in on that tackle. Open field tackling, the hardest thing to do in the game, I believe.
But when you get outside the tackle box, it becomes a numbers game. The defense had more than they could block. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Daniels. And that is incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things, get back to what works.
And he'll take it just outside the 40. A 48-yard punt, 7 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
At their own 48-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. A big mistake last time they were on the field, tossing that interception inside the red zone and really taking away what had been a pretty successful drive up to that point.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question about it. As they head out on the field for this drive, that whole offensive unit is just thinking redemption. You know, they moved it really well, didn't pay it off. This time, they want to make sure that ball ends up in the end zone, and they're the ones possessing it.
Hurts. Got him in. It's Brown. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And bulldozing his way through. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 51 yards rushing for him now as he has gotten the night off to a hot start.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the 1st quarter.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. Leads to 2nd and goal.
Here's Hurts to throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game.
So they were stopped trying to run the ball on 1st down. Now they take a sack on 2nd down. The offensive coordinator's got to find a way to flip the script on the defensive coordinator because right now the defense has the advantage.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Throwing is Hurts. Dancing to it. And the pressure gets to him again. He loses a full 5 yards there on the sack, and it also brings up 4th down. 4th and goal.
Jason Myers for the Seahawk field goal. A 34-yard attempt.
Myers' kick is good, and the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take, punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
At their own 13-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches always say, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
They'll throw on first down with Hurts. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that play there was certainly a scouting report special because coverage was all too aware that this close to the end zone, he's going to become a bigger weapon for that offense, and they were there to help force the incompletion.
Second down, here's Hurts. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Back to throw. That is caught, and he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
63, 63, 63.
Here's a quick throw right side. Touchdown! A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to stretch out their lead. Had the option there, read it perfectly, and an easy little touchdown toss.
And it has to be a sharp throw, too, because of where they are on the field, the extra traffic, things are condensed near the goal line. Good route by the receiver as well.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he will be taken down here as the first quarter of play will come to an end. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Basically, you're not going to outwork 2 guys very often.
Double coverage. I thought he was going to go somewhere else with the football. I get it. That's a stud wide receiver. You want to try to get him the football.
Yeah, sometimes you rely on him a bit too much. You forget the other options that are out there.
Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 35.
So often when we're watching a football game, we see one with a lot of ebbs and flows, and this one is no different. And sometimes you just need a big play to wake you up a bit. And they get one right there. That shot of caffeine this offense was looking for.
Running on 1st down, Eckler. Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
19 tight, 19 tight.
Back to throw. Daniels. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Reek Woolen. And the Seahawks are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that. Charles's defense, they were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
2nd down, here's Jalen Hurts. As it complete to Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
He'll look to throw. Catch is made by Metcalf. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a 2-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Kenneth Walker, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to extend their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Michael Dixon, the kickoff for Seattle.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll elect not to run with it. And a fair catch on the kickoff will move the ball to the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
Come on. Hey, check that. Street. Go.
They started on the ground with Eckler. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
Tiger. 60 Maverick. 60 Maverick.
Looking to throw. Daniels. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Back to throw. Daniels. And that is incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Now a 2nd and 2. They're going to look to throw. Out right to Smith-Njigba. 7 yards there and a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll try to run it in, going option right. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. On 2nd down, it's Walker, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Play action. Here's Hurts. Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
So this lead, Charles, just continuing to swell here in the first half.
Well, it's interesting. When we talked to them prior to the game, they told us that their game plan was take no prisoners, and they've lived up to it so far because everything has worked. No guarantee that'll continue. But all in all, this coaching staff's got to be very pleased by what they've seen.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Buffalo 18.
On 1st down, Daniels. Quick throw there is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
70 Rangers. 70 Rangers.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 36. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
Mustang 19. 18, Pioneer.
They'll look to throw again. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. And the Seahawks are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
Intercepted. The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And just inside of a minute left, Charles. They got a pretty long field ahead of them. I'm curious to see how they play this, but you would think definitely enough. There he goes, left side. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 122 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all living on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
At the 30-yard line.
Off the play fake, here's Hurts. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. DK Metcalf, 30 yards. And the Seahawks continue to pull away here in this first half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call.
Michael Dixon to kick off for Seattle.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And the Seahawk defense gets to him and they bring him down. The Commanders going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Looking to throw. Daniels. And now here is another interception. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
On the counter, it's Walker. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 46. Myers' kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports Halftime Report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already...
Oh, and now some space to operate. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. DK Metcalf. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf. His second touchdown of the night. And the Seahawks come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Now Myers for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. Pushing his way through. And they'll be backed up a bit to start as he's out of bounds at the 16. Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Draymond Jones. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. To throw from his end zone. Daniels. And my goodness, another interception. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And after the broken tackle, couldn't get free for much space, taken down right at the 10. 129 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
4 yards remain on second down. Ball on the 10. Sticking with Walker on second down. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Ken Walker with his second touchdown of the night. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Myers connects on the PAT, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be.
And now here is another interception.
Picked by Julian Love.
And shedding a man at the 40.
And the Seahawks will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, whether it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Now 3rd down and 7. They go play action with Hurts. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's good for the Seattle Seahawks. 1st and 10.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Second and a couple. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7.
171 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues.
That was excellent from start to finish, from the blocking to the running, just well executed.
And now let's look ahead because after that, how about a little play action, maybe a little bootleg, and get the quarterback out on the corner and give him a little run pass option.
And they're right down here looking for 6. And they get him down at the 1. He had the broken tackle, but ultimately could not get into the end zone. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Walker will take this into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just one play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends were on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of the tight end more as a pass catcher. But this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team, and they committed to it and got it done right there.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
19 tight. 19 tight.
Back to throw. Daniels. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. And now they're in the hurry up. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Out left to Dotson. It'll be a gain of 5. And that's going to make it 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pull it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
He's brought down to the red zone at the 18 after a gain of 18. 1st and 10.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. The one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
Up the middle, here's Walker. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Walker. And he's brought down. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
Well, partner, nothing but praise from me for this offense. They have been tremendous all night long. They knew what they had to do to unlock the defense. And let's face it, this has been a master class in offensive football that we've been here to witness.
And they'll turn to a power game to try to get in. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Third and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. They'll try and run, Walker. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair.
So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They come up on a 4th and goal as they look to finish this one off. So on 4th down, here's Jason Myers for the Seahawk field goal. Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he returns this to the 22.
1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the 4th quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Daniels. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
And looked like some movement there. Let's get the call. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long.
Hurt. 60 Maverick.
Operating from the gun. Daniels. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. He'll take it at the 42. Unable to corral him, he fights through. And shutting him off, now open field. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And this offense, not able to believe their good fortune probably. 1st and goal at the 2. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Charles, when you look at the stat sheet, you realize that both sides of the ball were so dominant in this game. And on offense, not only did they score it, but they did it through the air as well as on the ground. Everything was working.
And you know that the guys who scored the touchdowns, who contributed that way, either threw them or ran them, they're going to find our cameras and have a big grin for them. But I hope our cameras find that offensive line. How versatile were they? Move the ball on the ground, move people so they could run it, and then protected their passers so they could throw it.
So for the Seahawks, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals.
Meanwhile, for Washington,
they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year.
and they'll be on the road next week as they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.